Hey everyone, it's Kelly from Silly Moon Quilting Co. Today we're going to be using our new Hexie ruler, and it's called Hexie Duet. Duet, two of them. Not very original, but nonetheless, that's the name. So the couple things I want to go over with this ruler, we're going to talk about some of the markings a little bit and do the basic shapes of the Hexie. And then from there, we're going to do more videos as we go along here, and there will be some PDF printouts and such. But for today, I just kind of want to show you the basics of the new Hexie ruler and let you know that it's available on our website and through some of my retailers. So I want you to notice here, this one says 1.5. So what that means is if I take this line here and this line here, that's where my needle is going to end up, and the same on here and here. The distance between those two lines where my needle is, or that stitch line, is going to be 1.5 inches for this Hexie, and for this one it's going to be 1 inch for the Hexie. So you'll notice that we've got some lines going through the corners, and that's going to help us do a honeycomb type look, or move from one Hexie to the next. You'll see we've got some center line markings of the Hexie itself. That's going to help us line it up if we choose to only do half a Hexie. We're not going to get into that in this class or in this video. So really all I want to show you is this is the new ruler. I'll give you a bit of an introduction and show you how you're going to use this ruler. Today I'm quilting on my Bernina Q16, and I am using some Wonderfill Fabulux thread. I'm quite excited. I think the color is just stunning, so we're going to play with this a little bit today. I have the 72S ruler foot on my machine. You can see here, and you can tell that because there's the little slit here, and that allows me to pull my thread right through, which works wonderfully for me. I'm going to start just up here in the quilt. Doesn't really matter. We're just going to do some basic shapes. So I'm going to hold my top thread as always. Oops, bring up my bobbin thread, give it a quick pull there. Hold on to those two. And then I'm going to make sure my needle is in the down position, or locks in the down position, do a couple locking stitches. And I'm just going to trim those threads so they're out of the way. You, of course, will handle this a little differently if you're actually making a quilt. This is just to make sure that everything stays secure, and I can carry on and show you the design. So I'm going to lift my ruler foot, and this is how on your domestic machine and on your sit-down long arms and stuff you're going to work with this. Now, if you're on a long arm on a frame, and different long arms are a little bit different, so you may have to lift your needle to get that slot through, and you will put it over the shank here. So it may depend, you may have to fiddle with it, and depending on the type of machine that you're using. But for your domestic machines, you should be able to lift your ruler foot and slide that ruler right underneath. Now, once you've lifted your ruler foot, you want to make sure that you're dropping your ruler foot away from that ruler. So just like Cheesy or Gemini or any of our inside rulers, we want to make sure we've got lots of clearance. So I'm going to drop my ruler foot there, and then I'm going to bring my ruler back towards me. And I can, of course, do this direction, any direction I choose to use this ruler, which of course enables me to be able to create hexagons all around this block, if this was a block, all around without turning my quilt. I'm simply turning my ruler. So I'm going to start here. I've got my sticky tape on my ruler, and of course it comes with all of our rulers. I'm going to hold my ruler down, and you can hold it down here if you want. I kind of hold it a little broader so that I've got a good grip, and I know that that sticky tape is going to help keep everything secure. So I'm going to start my stitches there. And what I want you to notice at this point is you'll see that these corners are nice and sharp, these points. And that happens because we're on the inside of a ruler. So if I was using a template that is a flat template and the hexagon's on the outside, every time I come around this corner, it's going to be rounded. So the only way I'm going to end up with nice sharp points is if I'm working on the inside of the ruler. So I've completed my first hexagon there. You can see that that looks pretty darn perfect. I am now simply going to rotate my ruler until it looks like I'm almost in a position where this is parallel to the line I just stitched. But what you'll notice is if I look at this line on the ruler here, it lines up over top of the one I've stitched under or previously, and now I know that I should be able to come up here and I should be stitching on top of the same line. And I end in the same point. And I'm back to my center. You want to make sure at this point that you've got a nice sharp needle. So before you start this, you want to put a nice sharp needle on this. So now I want to do one more hexie, so I'm going to rotate my ruler again. And now I've got a line on both this side and in behind here on my ruler foot, on the ones I just stitched. So if you're feeling that that's not quite right, make sure you maybe shift it a bit. Check those two lines here and here to make sure that you're stitching in the right spot. And then I can carry up and stitch and continue along that line. And then I'm back to that point. Now I can continue on to the bottom if I want, but if I want to continue this design and keep working that way, all I need to do now is rotate my ruler again, line up on these lines here. And once you're on these lines, then you can just hold your ruler flat again, and you're going to continue stitching around that hexagon. So you make your fourth hexagon. So hold everything nice and secure. Do a quick double check to make sure you're stitching on the same line, and if you need to adjust your ruler, this is a great place to do it because sometimes things shift a little bit as you're working along. So then we're going to carry around and do another hexagon all the way back to that point. Now once we finish that, I'm going to lift up my ruler foot and show you what this looks like. And now you can see that we've got four nicely shaped hexagons all joining, and you can carry on this same way if you want to extend this as you go along. So you just go back to another V or point, and then you can carry on this design throughout the rest of your quilt. So this is a perfect place to put an overall design. So we've also got the little 1-inch hexie, and it will actually go right inside of the other hexie. So you can center it in the middle, but you can also just use that hexie at a certain point and it will follow along. So we've got our ruler foot lifted. We're going to slide that 1-inch hexie underneath, bring our ruler foot down again with lots of clearance, and then I'm going to rotate the hexie so that I got what appears to be the same amount of space on either side. There's no actual true line-up mark on the ruler for this. Because we're not doing it in the center. And then we can go ahead and stitch up and stitch around that little hexie. And you can see that that is going to end up with a beautiful hexie within a hexie. And I'm just going to lift my ruler foot there again and pull that ruler out so you can see. And you can see this is the beginnings of what can be some really cool designs, and you can do them in any corner you want. That's the 1-inch and the 1.5-inch hexie. So I hope that you enjoy this tutorial on the hexie. Please know that there will be lots more coming, but this is just a good overview of what our hexie ruler looks like, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe our video. Thanks so much. Have a great day.